What is up, guys? I'm here with Team TPA, and I'm here to showcase my Super 17 profile for the updated anniversary box. And hopefully you guys enjoy, and let me know what you guys think about this deck. So we're going to start off with our leader. Our leader is Super 17, and what he has is his Burst 2, and you just mill the top two cards from your deck and you draw a card. And this is whenever you swing anywhere, which is really good. Once he awakens, he untaps 2, and then he has Sparking 5. So whenever it attacks, you draw a card, and also has critical. The built-in critical is really important in this deck because you want to pressure your opponent all the time, so they're always like constantly using cards to like avoid the crit, which is really nice. And he has an active main where like if your opponent has 10 cards or more, you get to make them discard until they have 9, which is not that, it's not that helpful, but it's there just, just in case. And the main reason we run him is because he's an android, obviously. There's a lot of cool and powerful android cards you can run with him. So we're running the Super 17 / Android 13 package. Alright, so starting with our main deck, we are running 4 copies of New Power Son Gohan. Now this card is just a pretty much staple in almost every deck, every green deck. This helps you self-awaken and pressure your opponent's hand, which is really important. That's all you want to do with this deck, is just like turns 1 and 2, you just want to like crit them and pressure that hand, and then like turns 3 and 4, you start like discarding them, which is really good. So we are running 4 copies of him, and then we run 4 copies of Dr. Gero, Evil's Inventor. And on play, he just looks at the top 3 and grabs any android, and then you're able to combo him off later on if you want to defend your life. It's really good. There's a lot of good targets for here, really good powerful cards you want to get by certain turns, so he's really good to help you pseudo search them. Next up, we run 4 copies of Endless Malice Android 17. He's really good because he's your 2-drop critical, and what he does is that he bursts 3, he'll get +5 in critical, and also he's a normal 17, so like for your Hellfighter 17 package, he's a valid target, so you're able to go up that chain. So he's really good, really solid. And then I run 3 Chile. Not a lot of people are running this card. I think this card is absolutely amazing. It just does so much for the deck, and you're able to just pressure your opponent constantly with this card. It's a good turn 2 play, so if you don't see your Endless Malice, you can play this on turn 2, and then pass, and then next turn to your Android 13 package play. So speaking of Android 13, we run 4 copies of the Android Troop 14 and 15. And this is like probably the best support Android 13 has gotten so far. As far as the ruling goes, this is how I've been doing it. So like for my new 13, the new 14 and 15 will count for both targets for this card. However, for the old card, this card will not count as both targets. And that's apparently how it's been ruled, and that's how I've been doing it in my locals. And this is mainly the reason why you run this card, because you want more targets, and you don't want to waste 2 cards for 1 card. So this is really powerful. He has a active main where you can pitch him, draw a card, which is nice, but we can do that, but we don't draw the card. We would just pitch for costs and then get it in the drop area if there's no other way for you to get it in the drop area. Like let's say your opponent like negates all your attacks, knowing that you want to put this in the drop, so you can do that. It's a cute little play. I've done it once or twice. And then next up, I run my 13 package. I run 4 copies of Android 13 the Beautiful, and thank God like this card came out, because Android 13 was just really unplayable because of the 4-drop being too slow, and this speeds up the deck so much and just helps it so much. What he does is that he has Union Absorb, so you union 1 Android 14 and 15, which 1 copy of this card is good enough, and you go up your chain. Now here's the thing though, the 7-drop Android 13 only comes from your hand. You must play it from your hand, so you have to have it in your hand, which is fine. I'm sure a lot of Android 13 players have experience of having 3-4 by by turn 4, and then they can't union absorb anymore. So I'm super happy this card's out, and this helps the deck so much. It just brings out your cards a lot faster. It's just so much better. So we run 4 copies of M, and we still run the 1 copy of the 4-drop, just because, like, in case, like, you do get into that, like, turn, you just have another target too. So it's really nice. He has an auto when you play him. You pop with your opponent chooses one of the cards and pop it, and then you go into your 7-drop and you pop another card. So it's got this one has a little bit more removal, but it's just so much harder to like pull off because you have to tap 4 and then tap 1, and it's just so much harder. So for our boss card, we're running 3 copies of Endless Destruction or Undying Android 13. He's just super amazing. He has an active an auto where if you KO you can KO one of your opponent's cards on play, and it will trigger your second ability, which is whenever a battle card is placed from any area by one of your skills. This also means critical. Your opponent has to discard 1. So automatically when you play him, you're making them discard, which is really powerful. But like there's so many other things you can do. So you can also do like when you play him and you have this on board. This is really cool interaction because you can play him, auto pop a card, make them discard off of this, and then this will trigger and they have to discard another one. Now if they discard another battle card off of this will trigger again. So they're discarding 2 cards, they lose a battle card, and it gets even worse. Like once you like go into when you start doing battle with them. Alright, and moving on to complement this awesome engine, we're running the Hellfighter 17. And what he does is he has Union Absorb for 3. He has Barrier, which is really good. You can just leave him out and not worry too much about like getting popped. But you do have to be careful with certain decks. So you Union Absorb 117 from the drop area, which is really not an issue because you have a burst on when you're unawakened, and also the 17 also bursts. So you'll get targets in drop area easily. And what he does, he brings out like a 4-drop or a 4-drop Super 17 from your deck or drop area, which is really good. Alright, and then for our Union targets, this is what I'm running. I'm running 2 Super 17 the Inferno Machine. And what he does on play is that my opponent has to discard 2, but I have to discard 2. And then he has double strike, and he can't be negated. You can still Mafubo him because the card will go on top, and it will try to resolve as much as possible. So you run 2 of him, and then we run 1 of the next piece of the chain. He has Barrier and Deflect, which is nice. You know, you can't counterplay him, so it's really nice. And he just pops any card you want. And then you tap 4 to specify green and go to the next piece of your chain, which is our Super 17 Cell Absorbed. And this guy has Deflect, and it has dual attack and critical, which is really nice. And then whenever he swings, he has an auto where your opponent discards 2, which is really powerful. And and then the only downside to this card, and this every time when I showcase a deck profile, especially 17, is that he's only 20 attack, which is very unfortunate. I think the magic number here would have been 25, but I guess they just didn't want to do that because, I don't know. He is essentially a 4-drop, but like you just have to set up for him. I just don't understand why they didn't make him 25 at least. Alright, and then for the next cards we run We run Figure and Majesty Shenron. We don't run Overwhelm. We really can't afford to run Overwhelm. So Shenron is a really good card to abuse that. And what he does is that you tap 4, you bring him out, and then you have so many options to do with this guy. So 1, you can untap 2, draw a card. 2, you can give a card critical, which that's probably the main effect that you use. You can give this critical and make it double crit. You can also make him critical, which is really powerful because he can't be negated. So there's a lot of good targets as far as critical, and you draw a card. And then the other effect is that you get to revive a 2-drop or less from your deck. So we also have good targets. We have Chilai. We also have the 17, and we also have our super combos, which our super combos are really powerful in this deck because they just make you discard. So this is a 2 of, and it's been working really well for me. Next up, I run 2 Inferno Villain Cell. This is just good defensive card, but like the main use for it is for a Super 17 target. You have to Union Absorb a cell, so this is the main target, and this is just overall good because it's a pseudo super combo, so you're going to be drawing 1 when you combo with it and get plus 10 to whatever you're trying to defend. We only run 2 because we don't really rely on the 17 package all that much. We rely a lot more on the Android 13 package, so that's why my numbers are really low on the Super 17 side. And then plus the Super 17 engine is very versatile because you can do it from drop or from deck. So like very rare like I miss on the chain, but it could happen. Now for super combo, we run Stout Hearted Android 16. You just, when you're at 4 or less, if your leader's in Android, you're going to combo him off, make your opponent discard. So if you have 4 of these and you have this guy and you're swinging with leader, you're going to combo 1, make them discard. Let's say they discard battle cards. They have all battle cards. They're going to discard another one from here. So that's 2 discards. Another 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 cards they had to discard. Now if you had swung with your leader and you hit a battle card off that crit, they're going to discard another one. So that's 9 cards in total they have to discard, which is really powerful. It really doesn't happen all that much. I've only done it like once or twice, but it can happen. It's really, really threatening. And this is why this leader is really good with this deck, because your opponent constantly has to either negate or block this this attack. They can't let it. They can't afford it to let it through when this guy's on board, because they already know what's going to happen. So this is really good. All right, and for our negates, we're running 4 Shocking Death Balls. We're bursting, so this is going to be live by turn 2. It's one of a really powerful negate. It just negate the attack, kill any 2-drop or less. It's really powerful. Really like the card. And then for our last card, we are running 3 copies of Preemptive Strike, and this is just a really good negate, but or a really good counterplay. But I think the new 2-drop counterplay will be replacing this, because I'm pretty sure the new one will negate the summon of anything, but they do have the option to discard too. So when you're running that, and like they're trying to run a win con, and then like you have a Android 13 on board, and then like for some reason like they brain fart and they forget, they discard off 2 and they discard a battle card, they're going to have to discard another one or another 2 depending on the situation. So I think moving on to set 7, we're definitely going to be replacing this with that new counterplay. But yeah, that was the deck profile, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. I'm a big fan of this deck, and hopefully Androids get more support. Just let me, what do you guys think? You think we're going to get more Android support? I hope so, because Androids are not doing anything. We all know that, and we're all hoping, you know, our boy Selk, you know, makes an impact in the game again, or something. So that's the video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Team TPA is signing out.